Okay, Matt, I'm going to give you the preview. Um, so here's what we're looking for. This new bucket that just holds your new Post-it notes. We should be able to take and move them from the new area to a mini board. This is a mini board. This is a list inside, and this is a Post-it. So the mini board, when you make a new one, I don't want them to overlap with each other. I want them to be kind of one can push the other one, but they shouldn't be able to overlap. I don't like that. So if I want to move this, which I don't think this version is going to let me move it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the mini board is essentially what could be a pipeline. So basically when I add columns in here, that's not going to let me add a column here. Add a list, add another list. So on the header I can make it say whatever I want. So I could say new job. This one I can say follow up. This one I could say not interested. And this one I could say sold. Okay. So I can move them along from one to the other. But then you see here I have a little calculator. So if I click in here that I want the ability to have a sum or a count, a card count, or an aging, which would be how many days something sat inside of there. And then if it's stagnant and it's not moving, it might say 2 days, and then I can move it from here to there. So I can essentially use this as a pipeline. I want the ability to have a list not just go vertical. I would like the ability to have a box that I put, say, here, okay, or here, not just traditional left to right. I want the ability to have 4 on the top and 1 big one on the bottom, or 4 on the top and 2 on the bottom, whatever I want. So when I do this, when I hit pin, okay, now if I go to add a new board, and here I get to make a new board, whatever I want in it, but when I hit pin for main view, it's going to take me back. So when I go to my new board, which I think, here's my new board, when I add a list on here and I add a Post-it note on here, and we can call this one whatever we want. I don't know if it will let me name it or not, but it's really fun to make it say Justin fucks goats. So when I pin to the sidebar again, now we have this one. So I don't know what happened there. Okay, so that's overwriting, which isn't great. So I should get multiples of them. Additionally, besides pinned board, I want pinned template. So a template would not have the cards in it, but a template would be like whatever format of the board was. So a template could be the Christmas light board or the renewal board, essentially, that I've saved, and people can use the template. And then there would be card templates, like card templates to where you add, say, a checklist or something like that, like Trello does. Then we would be able to have a card template. Okay, let me close this. This button's in the wrong spot. It needs to be there. This little indicator here is in the wrong spot. So this is like how many tasks it has. So if I add more tasks or I add more steps, when I close this, you'll see here this number changes from 3 to a 1. I just want that in the upper right. This red thing here is a flag, but I want it to be in the shape of a flag. So your flag colors are all there. Your Post-it note colors are here. And the flag should be an actual flag. You can add a note after the flag. I don't think in this version you can, but you can flag for whatever reason and put a little note after it. So the request communication, what I want that to do is basically create a ghost card, or rather a clone of that card, that you don't get the full function of the card, you just get whatever the task is that's assigned. So if I grab a task and I assign a task to somebody and I hit request communication, they now owe a task there. They can move that card around on their own board so their task will come up as a new bucket, as a new task, okay? And there's some indicator like maybe 50% translucency or something to where they see that's a task. They could drag that into their to-dos of whatever board they're using and, accomplish the task and then hit archive. And once it's archived, that doesn't archive the original card. The original card just has to check off that the task is done, okay? You'll notice there's an archive here. So when I archive stuff, I want the ability to bring them back, and these should not be just blue. These should be the color of whatever the post-it note was on here. And then I have a log. This log doesn't work, but I do have one that does. Let me just go into a couple of these and see. This one, just my board expanded and contracted, which I do want. This one has my due soon and today, which is below overdue. I want that. That's the only thing special I think this one had. This one royally sucks, but my pin or my pin to template worked over here. My settings doesn't work. There's nothing good about this one then. Okay, so this one, the settings work. So in the settings, I wanted to be able to make teams. So I had in mind here, I would create like, all the people on my team that are in the executive role, regional manager role, general office, almost like an org chart. And then when I go and make a team, I can create the team. And when we have team boards, it'll be in like their team view will show everybody's board, not just their board. Okay. The highlight feature works, so you see when I click here, it highlights very nicely, and it highlights the note that I'm working on. That makes things easy to spot. So I like that feature, and I want that feature. This one has my indicators in the correct spot in the upper right with a little symbol and a more defined color, so I like that. And I like how the pinned boards and the templates are in a little folder. Otherwise, this whole thing doesn't really function really well. But you see my log allows me to search by employee. I want some options there. So the due soon, this is just this section here. I like that and want that. Oops. Okay, so just going through the rest of the features. Board should be able to obviously resize. Okay, that's not functioning. So basically when I lock a note, or when I lock a board here, that prevents me from taking my post-its and taking them off to another mini board. It will allow me to move it from lists in between, and if it's unlocked, then I should be able to drag it out and into a different mini board. These are little widgets that it adds: the sum, count, aging. I might have said that already. The sum grabs, so if I have a dollar amount in the card, $12.50, and I have a dollar amount in another card, which that one doesn't have one, here, 5,000. That will add up in the calculator then above that column. The 3 is how many cards are in the column. And again, I want to be able to have a custom field to where maybe I put that there's an like a service call or something like that. Ultimately, since these post-its can link or should be able to eventually link to an account, then it can make more creative data that you could capture up top. Okay, like if it's now a customer and I can click in here, or click into the customer and see history, etc. So that will link when we have the schedule up and we have the accounts stuff up. This will be able to link and then basically graduate jobs along a pipeline, and that would be a job versus a post-it. Okay, Let's see what other features here that I haven't explained. So I can make lists inside of here, we know that. So on the view, again, my thought here was I want to be able to look and check on other people. So based on the hierarchy, if I'm the executive, I should be able to get into anybody's board and see anything. None of this is a dashboard for me, but I'm allowed to look at their view. The dashboard can come later. And then I would have my options for over here to see my, say, I would have my, what interface I want to see at, what I'm logged in as, what I have the ability to go see somebody else's board, what teams I can see, and then my own views, something like that. Let's see. Communications, I don't think so. Communications was basically that com card, which I said is like a ghost card. That would show me which communications that I have due. Nothing is able to go there right now because the communications request button doesn't work. Not that I can see anyway. So that's just kind of a stub. But I would be able to, again, address those either in here or drag them to a board that of my choosing. Handle it. It's going to communicate feedback loop to the other person that it's done. All right, let's check out the Canva. See if there's any information there that I need to share. Oh, let's look at Trello. So Trello has this, which I like, labels, which you can just basically add colors for things. It's similar to my flags, but I would like flags to be separate because flags can have a whole host of indicators. So I want the labels in there. I want the ability to do the dates just like Trello does. I can set reminders, and I can have, in my sidebar, when I had due soon, that's what that was kind of for. I want the ability to add checklists. I like that. And then assign those items to other people. And to invite members, basically, makes them a member of your card. And I want the ability to do attachments. Everything that I have here. I like this log that allows you to see what's happening. And instead of mirror, I'm going to use the word, I forget what it is. Right now you can just put mirror, but we're going to end up changing some of the terms so we're not ripping them off. But basically mirror is just a clone of that exact card. And then if you change it on one, it changes on the other. It's different than my communications card. The comms card doesn't allow you to edit the original stuff, just do your own task that you have to do. So that's that. I don't know that we can deal with this stuff later as far as planning, but my switchboards, my function was better on my left sidebar, so we're keeping that. Guess that's sort of it there. Oh, got to go to the Canvas still. Okay, so we talked about the Trello stuff. We talked about this. There are features there within the 3 dots of the card. This is a second version of what it looks like when you open up my card. I just want whatever you feel is user-friendly. So I have labels in here, apparently in this version, followers, etc. So there's probably more options in this than there is in some of the versions I showed you. This again, I just want to move these indicators up in the upper right. See what else we have here. This is an example of the log. Should give you the details of completed tasks, reassigned tasks, completing steps or tasks inside a post. There should be a search and sort to see all the logs of a certain type or a certain employee or a certain team. My sidebar collapsed. I wanted to kind of look like this, which I couldn't get it to do. This is again showing my due soon. I like that. Okay, so features to add. Here we go. Label states, checklist. I guess that's it. This is going to be fucking badass. As a standalone, this whole module is honestly pretty badass. Like, probably marketable by itself. Figure out how to stop my recording. Thank you.